I suppose. What is it? What is new?
What, are you expecting that because we are in a store I'm going to purchase something for you? A potion or an herb or a weapon or something? Listen, I am not made of money. Whatever money I have is yours to spend, but I leave the decisions and the responsibility to you. You are frugal enough to handle this responsibility, yes? We won't leave here with 50 iron daggers in our pockets, will we?
These sands are cold, but Khajiit feels warmness from your breath. I suppose. What is it?
One of my research interests lies in uncovering the history of catfolk in Tamriel and other lands across the world. We have quite a diverse history, but the texts are scattered, so compiling it has been a challenge. Would you care to hear what I found? Alright, let me think. I have read of another great white cat, a warrior whose raw strength in battle was only matched by his cunning and his skill with stealth. He could make himself nearly invisible to the eye with but a little effort, and the slash of the blades affixed to his wrist was often the first sign his prey had as to his presence. Quite a legendary reputation this cat had, if the texts are to be believed. I have seen various references to him both as the Pride Stalker and as the Night Hunter, and quite frankly I am not sure which is more unnerving.
Anyone tries to sneak up, I suppose. What?
Nothing. Nothing is new. Please do not ask me such foolish questions.
Yes, what is it? Every book has its merits, if you look at... I'm up for another chat about the dance and fire. If... Alright then, which book should we discuss this time? Well, it is undeniably well written. I cannot argue that point. However, its portrayal of Khajiit is horrendous. Bloodthirsty savages. Unreasoning, feral beasts out to slaughter and incinerate everyone and everything in their path. No nuance. Certainly war is an ugly business. But the characterization of the Khajiiti people was awful. Other than that, little things. The thought of eating a singed tiger? Do you know? Singe have all the intellect of any other Khajiit. Speaking of eating them is as though you speak of eating another person. Monstrous. There is also a point where Scotty pulls a rather heartless move on a Khajiit he could have helped escape the wild hunt. The Khajiit trusted him, and he betrayed the Khajiit and let him be torn apart and eaten. Again, monstrous. But alas, it is fiction, and so I must take it with a grain of sugar. Just a story. At worst, merely reflective of the author's own prejudices. I can see past it and still enjoy it. Yes, I suppose. What is it?
I have been told on a number of occasions that I do not play well with others. Which stands to reason. I do not play at all as far as I know. I have put untold hours of work into being who I am. Why would I change that just to make someone else happy? Maroon's whiskers, what a laugh.
What is...
I will admit it was difficult to overcome my use of the conventions of Khajiiti speech. And even now that I have, going back and referring to myself in the third person, or as Khajiit or this one, still brings a certain sense of primal satisfaction. It just feels right, yes? And I am not sure I can explain it any further than that. Once the brain is trained to act in a certain way, it is difficult to unlearn something. It can be done, I am proof of that. But it takes diligent work, and then a careful eye afterward to avoid regression. It is a constant battle, yes?
Warm sands, I suppose. What is...
Listen, I am uncomfortable here. If we are not planning to hide in the Arcanium for the rest of our time here, I would prefer we leave. Not a lot of friends here. I do not wish to talk about it, but if you see any other Khajiit around, do me a favor and keep a wide berth, yes? Things might get a little explodey and fire and brimstone otherwise.
I trust you are taking us somewhere. I suppose. What is new?
One of my research interests lies in uncovering the history. We have quite a diverse history, but the texts are... So you ask me what is new, and suddenly do not have the time when the subject becomes catfolk. I see. Fine then.
What is new?
I have read many books over the years, both fiction and non-fiction, and I have enjoyed, or at least learned from, a great many of them. But one book struck me in such a profound manner as to have stuck in my mind and effected a change in how I conduct myself in day-to-day life. The Last Scabbard of a Crash, a story of a Khajiit slave and his Dunmer mate, star-crossed lovers who would do anything to be together. There is grisly murder, trickery, revenge, and perhaps most importantly, a repudiation of the vile practice of slavery. While I do not wish to spoil the melancholic ending, it does show that even two races so disparate as Dunmer and Khajiit can find love in each other. It left me wistful, yes? I must admit also that any novel with an empowered Khajiit character is a good novel. As do I, and love against all odds strikes especially close to my core. Having traveled through Morrowind, having seen the living conditions for Khajiit throughout the province, seeing them continuing to be abused by the elves, the story of love between Khajiit and elf just speaks to the strength of the Khajiiti people. After all that, to rise above hatred, to love, amazing. There is a warmth in the hearts of Khajiit, and no matter the oppression, no matter the suffering we endure, that warmth persists, drives us forward.
I found this the last time we were in town, and I thought you could find a use for it. I suppose. What is it? What is new?
It occurs to me you may not be familiar with the physiology of Khajiit, you being you. If you would like, I can give you a short primer on our biology. Well, as the story goes, Khajiit were created as a people of many hardships, and to endure they were given many different forms by the god Azura. A form for every purpose, and a purpose for every form. These forms, they are tied to Tamriel's two moons, Maser and Secunda, such that, depending on the phase of the moons at the time of a Khajiit's birth, he may end up as small as a house cat, or as large as the largest saber cat, as diminutive as a child, or as tall and muscle-bound as even the hardiest Nord. You have perhaps heard of the jaguar men. Cathay Rot, Khajiit born while Maser and Secunda are both waxing. I am merely Cathay, born while Maser waxed and Secunda was full. If you ever see the Palmer or the Sench, quadruped Khajiit bearing a resemblance to tigers, they were born while Maser was full, as fully intelligent and capable of speech as any other Khajiit, but animal in appearance. Striking variations in form, yes? Some forms of Khajiit don't even bear a luxurious coat of fur. Disgusting, I know, but those are the Omis. Quite similar to wood elves, but shorter. Born while Maser is in its new phase, the Omis. Even the moons wanted to hide them, the disgusting little... Oh, and the Alfik, born while Maser wanes, the spitting image of a house cat, even taken for pets at times by other Khajiit, strange as it sounds. So many different shapes and sizes, and yet we, all of us, were created in the mother cat's image. Except for the Omis, perhaps. There really is something off about them. Still, though, Khajiit biology is a mysterious and wonderful thing, yes? Yes, mysterious and wonderful.